What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Chaos TV here on the fabulous YouTube.com. Now, Chaos has had a lot of time to think. I'm going to try to break down the They story from TNA last night on Impact. Now, everyone knows that they were supposed to be revealed as the main event Mafia. That was the plan going in, and everybody knows it. Now, what we have here is Kevin Nash and Booker T deciding to go to the WWE, and Sting decided not to come back just yet for whatever reason. Now we have, they have to change plans up. This is where I talked about a couple of days ago, where TNA shouldn't have tried to move forward with a plan and deciding that they can put it together at the last minute. It just can't be done that way. Or it can, but you shouldn't leave it up to chance. Because, like they've always said, anything can happen in the WWE. And anything means Booker T and Kevin Nash making a surprise return and entering the Royal Rumble. Now, Kevin Nash has stated that he could go back and work for them tomorrow, but they can't market him, apparently. I don't exactly know how that would work. But anyway, what we have now is TNA scrambling, trying to come up with something. And in the end, they came up with turning Fortune against Immortal. Now, I read a few things online, and I've talked to people who read the spoilers before watching last night's show. And they said it just amazed them how desperate TNA got. I can see where that would be said. I can see where anybody's coming from saying, well, you had this big plan, you had this all drawn out, it was all laid out, it was perfect, all you had to do was just get them to sign, and it was done. But they didn't sign. So now what you're left with is having Fortune turn. And I know that wasn't part of the plan initially, but sometimes plans change. Now, as far as the way I see it, it was a good move. Because, and this is the way it should have been all along. It should have been guys like Anderson, Jeff Hardy, Rob Van Dam. That should have been Immortal. And against guys like Fortune, and then add Red to that, and like maybe Samoa Joe, and you could have Kurt Angle, either way. I think it's good. This is how it needed to be set up. You needed to have those four guys, because those four guys have been in TNA since the beginning. Except for Robert Roode, who, out of the 9 years almost that TNA's been in existence, Robert Roode has been there the least long out of all of them. AJ was on the first show. Of course, he won the X Division title. He was the first X Division champion, and the first, half of the first world champions that they crowned. At the time, it was the NWA Tag Team Champions, but the first TNA, I guess it still was the NWA X Division title too, even though it was, I can't remember. Anyway, all that being said, and in Kaz, him and AJ was being like the the core of the X Division, along with Chris Sabin and Jerry Lynn and others. And I think that it's good to have the originals, the original guys from TNA from the beginning, and almost the beginning, to people that's just come in and decided they want to take over, and your time is done, and you didn't do anything the whole time, and now it's our time. I'm really curious to see where this goes. Now, as far as how Rob Van Dam and Jeff Hardy's storyline goes from here, I don't know. I couldn't figure it out in a day. Might take me longer than that to figure out where they would go with that, or where they should go with that. I feel like they just need to have a match. They need to have a good build-up. Hardy lost the title. Okay, fine. Van Dam needs to come back like next week on the next show, because I haven't read the spoilers, so I don't know. But needs to come back and open up on Hardy and try to get him done. Anyway, that's the way I see it. You did good, TNA. I said when Immortal was formed that it was good. And I said that, adding Fortune made the group stronger, but it may not have been the way I would have done it. But now having Fortune, turn and go against Immortal, I love it. Props, TNA. You finally get it. A little bit. I still feel that TNA is never going to eventually get the whole spectrum of what they should be doing. They're not going to get the whole thing. But they're picking it up little by little. Trying to retool the X Division. That's your bread and butter. It's been your bread and butter. You need to keep it. They had the tag team. Last year was the year of the tag teams, the resurgence and everything. Well, the last 2 years really, and this year's going to be more or less the resurgence of the X Division. And I hope to see the World X Cup come back, or whatever it's called, come back this year, because I think it adds something that they're missing. More people from all over the world doing what they do best. Anyway, that's the way I feel. Like I said, props TNA, props Dixie, finally doing something right. How does Flair fit into this? It's going to be good. Chaos is spoken.